After coming back from such an inspiring event like Ideal World last week, I felt compelled to do something on inspiration. There are two types of people in the world. The first type of person who's always seeking out new sources of information. The second one who refers to inspiration, for lack of a better word, as fluff. But when you do a litmus test, and you ask yourself, who are some of the top performing people in the world? People like Elon Musk, the late great Steve Jobs, people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Sir Richard Branson. What is the one thing that they all have in common? Well, there are probably a few things, but the common denominator is these people are energized. They are deeply inspired, and that gives them not only the ability to function at their personal best, but to inspire other people around them to action, and that is the true mark of effective leadership. So here are three things that I've utilized over the course of my career to keep me energized and keep me inspired. I call it I3, or the Inspiration 3, and the first I is integration. There were 14,000 fitness professionals that attended Ideal World last week. Now, this is interesting because out of all of these fitness professionals who traveled all over the world, my guess would be these are some of the top fitness professionals working in the industry today. And if they're not at the top of their field today, they're going to be at the top of their field the next few years, because it's only the top people in their field that will get on a plane and travel and integrate themselves with other top winners within any industry. I have never met one top fitness professional anywhere in the world who got to where they are without having some story about attending some event like Ideal World and listening to a speaker that deeply resonated with them, or getting around a group of people whose energy inspired them, and that was it. That event was the turning point. Get yourself to events, which leads into the second I, which is immersion. Top performing professionals immerse themselves in subject matter to which they want to become extremely competent, which inspires them, which draws them out. It almost has like a pull. So they don't have to push themselves to read and study and learn. They can't help themselves. At another really great event that I attended last month, Filex, they had the very prestigious Meeting of the Minds, where they brought in some of the top presenters in the world to talk to some of the top people in the fitness industry from around the world on whatever subject matter they chose. So you had about 20 minutes, and you could talk about anything you wanted as long as it was succinct. Well, one of the presenters, Tony Patagi, got up and spent his 20 minutes entirely talking about his library. Now, why would he do that? Is he trying to start the divine secrets of the Yahya Anatomy Brotherhood book club? Well, I don't think so, although that would be so cool, you have to admit. But I think the reason why Tony Patagi chose to spend his 20 minutes on talking about books is because he understands that there's no elevation without deep immersion in whatever subject matter, again, deeply inspires you. Leaders are readers. That's such a cliche. I've heard so many people say it. You're almost sick of hearing it, but it's true nonetheless. If you spend 1 hour a day, just 5 days a week, 4 weeks over the course of a month, reading something that is directly impactful for your clients, your end consumer, at the end of this year, you'll have invested 240 hours into your own personal and professional development. Now, if you keep this up for 5 years, that's 1,200 hours on subject matter that's critically important to you and everyone within your circle of influence. Now, if you apply what you do daily and what you learn daily, well, over the next 5 years, or 1,200 hours later, you'll be one of the most competent professionals in your field. And if you attend something like Ideal World, like 14,000 top professionals from around the world did, you were inspired by one of the people that you saw on the stage, the only thing at that point separating you from them is a decision and time. And the third component is imagination. And it's not just how you use your imagination, but how do you feed your imagination. I have heard so many people say that they will not waste their time studying anything that's fictitious or that's not hard science. So are you telling me that Tolstoy, Dickens, Shakespeare, Dostoevsky had nothing to contribute to society and our culture? Even better, to the mindset of so many great writers and professionals from varying fields all over the world? That's absurd. If you're only focused myopically on things that pertain to your subject matter, you don't see things in the periphery that allow you to solve problems that you wouldn't have even been able to identify. Paul Chek is very fond of saying that the eyes only see what the mind knows. Now, if we are all professionally paid problem solvers, and to a degree, a large degree actually, we are, then we need to expand our scope of vision so that we can see bigger, more complex, more painful problems for people in our industry, our consumer base, that we now have the competence as well as the foresight and the peripheral perspective to be uniquely positioned to solve. So again, the three things are: integrate yourself with people who you want to be like, who are doing what it is you want to do. Immerse yourself in an environment conducive to winning by studying things that are indispensable to excellence and high performance in your career and the domain within your career that you've chosen to specialize in. And don't just use your imagination, feed your imagination. Because Peter Drucker, one of the top business experts, business thinkers in history, was very clear when he said that innovation, which is a combination of perspiration and imagination, is one of the two key functions of a business. The other one was marketing. That's for a completely different video. So again, it's integration, immersion, and imagination. Thank you.